All right, hello everyone. Welcome back. Episode 98, I believe, of the Sunday Speedrunner Spotlight. My god, how has it been this many episodes? Although I feel like I've been saying that for the past 30, so I'm just a broken record at this point. Anyway, welcome to the show. And welcome Phantom as our guest today. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. I've got coffee. That's good enough.
Very important. So, off to a fantastic start, I see.
Yeah,
All right. Well, time to talk some speedrunning. Good topic as always on the speedrunner show here. Can't think of anything
surprising.
else. Yeah, I know. Shocking. Shocking topic of conversation.
I can't believe this is what I agreed to.
Unbelievable. Well, I guess we better get started. So, what do you do?
Primarily, as far as like speedrunning goes, my main games would be Paper Mario, uh, Zelda series such as Twilight Princess, Minish Cap, and Pokemon. I guess would be the next biggest one, but it's primarily Paper Mario and a lot of randomizers also.
How you play Pokemon? Never would have guessed.
I know, right? Well, I don't know what any of this is. This is
No,
just it just showed up here.
it just spawned in.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Well, a good varied list of games. All Nintendo, of
Yep.
course, but
All Nintendo. A lot of RPGs outside of Zelda, basically.
mhm. Yeah. They all play very differently though, so
Yep.
probably a lot to remember.
The difference between like Paper Mario being actually mostly movement based versus Pokemon being RNG. Did you get lucky?
My favorite.
Yeah. I love getting a crit.
hmm It's a great time. You see, this is why I don't run those games. That's the only reason, surely.
Yeah, surely the only reason.
hmm Well, let's go ahead and dive in to the meat of the episode, where we all start with the first question. How'd you get started?
Um, so the first game I speedran is none of these things.
Oh, good.
Um, the first game I speedran was Super Mario 3D World.
Ooh, good choice.
Uh, it's a very good game, and I chose it primarily because I knew people that worked on it. I was like, this would be
What?
funny.
Whoa. Lore drop. Okay.
Yeah, it was made by a team that I used to work on, so I
Huh.
decided to speedrun it. And I was like, this is funny. And then I was introduced to Morpheus080 as he was grinding Paper Mario glitchless, and I said, this would be really cool to do. I think I can do this. It doesn't seem that hard. And then, 4 years later.
Hmm. Guess it kind of stuck.
Yep. It was a very interesting transition going from basically not streaming at all to I'm gonna speedrun this after work.
So,
And then yeah. And then for Paper Mario it was more of like, this is so long I can't do this after work. I can only do this on the weekends.
yeah, fair enough. So, you know people that worked on the game, and you used to be like part of the team?
Yep.
Huh.
Technically I was on tech and not the game team, but that was where I originally got into a lot of things. Because
So, did you
yeah,
work for Nintendo?
yep.
Huh.
I mean, I have this mug.
Well, hey, this is a lore drop for me. I don't know how this never got brought up before, so I'm like, whoa, that's
Yeah,
wild. No wonder you play Nintendo games a lot, you know?
yeah.
Kind of makes sense.
I almost speedran Ratchet and Clank, but I didn't really like it as much.
They would have been mad. They would have sent the ninjas or something. I don't know how.
Yeah, something like that.
well, well, now I'm just curious. What? I I don't know how secretive their information is, but are you allowed to
I
talk
mean,
about anything?
at this point, it's all pretty old, so it like
Yeah.
doesn't really matter.
Hmm. Yeah. What did you do there? I guess.
I worked primarily on. Uh, so I, along with one other person, owned backwards compatibility, not backwards compatibility, but like a legacy support for Wii U and 3DS video playback.
Hmm.
And then we worked on porting that forward to NX Switch.
Fun. So you kind of knew about it before
Yep,
anyone else.
that was 2015.
Wow. Oh yeah. Okay. So 2 years prior, even. Damn. Man, they really moved away from the Wii U lightning fast, huh?
Yeah, there was a long period of time where during that whole process of going forward on Switch that we would get bug reports and be like, "Hey, this crashes on Wii U, and the crash results in being able to install Homebrew. So you need to fix this." I'm like, okay, fine.
No.
Same with 3DS, but not as much.
You can't be the reason homebrew was hard or no.
No, that was most of my work on Wii U was fixing video playback crashes, which was the main way that you homebrew the Wii U.
No. Well, now I'm just upset now.
Don't worry, that's still how you do it.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I sold my Wii U years ago. It doesn't matter anymore.
I homebrewed my Wii U like 4 months ago.
Damn. Well, someone clearly doesn't work at Nintendo anymore.
It was like 6 years ago
That's how you
now.
get executed. Well,
uh,
well, that's a fun story. It's cool that it led to speedrunning, I guess. Given
yeah,
was
it
that like
technically
the main? Were you just like, let me speedrun game I know people that worked on, or
that's kind of how I like decided to do it. Like I knew a few people because Nintendo led me to competitive Smash.
oh, what to like fight them or?
Well, we played Smash Brothers at lunch every single day,
Oh, okay.
and uh, there was actually a group at work that would play. They would do like small tournaments after work hours every Wednesday, I think.
Hmm,
So we'd
that's
go to
fun.
the cafeteria after hours and set up a few monitors and some Wii U's
Hmm,
and play Smash.
well, that's fun. So you got into like the community outside of work then, I guess.
Yeah, I started going to locals probably in like 2016 or 17.
Hmm.
There was a bar pretty close by that would have a tournament like every Thursday.
So was this Smash for Wii U primarily?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then when Smash Ultimate came out, I played that. I went to like 3 locals a week,
The
and that's how
addiction.
I met my roommates, technically.
That's cool. So I'm more curious. How did you find out what speedrunning was then?
Uh I would watch GDQ in my office in like 2013,
Oh,
SGDQ 2013.
oh, so you were early to the party. All right.
Yeah, I think that was the first time I like watched speedrunning. And then I would watch like SGDQ, AGDQ every time it was on, but that was really about it until like 2019.
So see, Nintendo employees do know speedrunning sometimes. We have living proof. How about that?
I think a lot of people would have it up on their computers at work.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's quite fascinating, actually. Because, I don't know, Nintendo. Obviously, you're not at the big corporate level of Nintendo, but I always feel like they have issues with people breaking their games. So,
I feel like most people are watching it and just fascinated.
mhm. I mean, I guess they did make Nintendo World Championships, so
Yeah, and
and
then
they
they
really like took a lot from speedrunning, so.
yeah, and then they said you can't do this.
Oh yeah, they do ban you from doing almost anything, but
Yeah.
not everything. So they didn't think of everything. I whenever I do a run on like GDQ, I always say take that Nintendo. So that must mean people are watching sometimes, and now we have beef. Oh well.
Yeah. It's a shame that they say they don't like glitches because man, some of the Switch games would be so much cooler if they didn't patch things.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm just Very fascinated by that backstory. Wasn't expecting that. It's really cool. So it wasn't till you left that you decided to like try it out then?
Yeah, I was working at Hulu when I like was introduced to actual like speedrun people that are now my friends from speedrunning. So that's kind of how I like actually started uh playing.
Okay. Yeah. No, I do love 3D World. Like that speedrun's really cool. So it's cool that started with that.
Yeah, it's a 3D World 80% is really fun.
Hmm. No, its
Two
movement tech is fascinating with the like cat. I don't I don't know if
yeah,
it's like a
like
cancel, but like the constant movement with the cat suit is
yeah,
really fascinating.
cat momentum with especially with Peach with floats also.
Oh yeah, you add that. And then the crouching forever on ice to just fly forever really fast.
Yeah.
And the Bowser's World Bowser, you jump on top of the pipe and just fall off on the overworld.
I wish that was in the Switch version.
Yeah, it's not, is it?
No, you have to actually play the video game.
Unfortunate. I'm guessing they have separate leaderboards on SRC then.
Yeah, they're like completely separate games.
Yeah, I figured.
The Switch version is just so much faster.
Mm, really?
There's a
Despite
the on the Switch version, I don't know if you knew this. Toad's run speed is the same as if he was on a boost panel.
always?
Yes,
Huh.
they increased the movement speed of everyone by like 20% or something.
And then just
So
made Toad faster because Toad?
yeah, so like with
Okay.
that movement speed increase, they didn't increase the speed of the boost panels. So just like
So he just doesn't go faster.
he just doesn't go faster when you hit a boost panel.
I don't know why I didn't notice because I think the day it came out, I did a like 4-player multiplayer thing. I'm pretty sure I was Toad. I don't remember, but pretty sure that's how it went. Wow.
Yeah, and then you get the fun stuff like Luigi vectoring.
Oh yeah, man. No, I love that game. Cosmic ran it for a good while a few years ago, and I watched the hell out of that. That
Yeah,
was the Wii U version.
that game is technically like how I know King J and a few other people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's really good at that too. Yeah, no, love that game. I don't know if I'd ever pick it up, especially since it would be the Switch version. But
Yeah,
I don't know. I love that game a lot.
it
So
is so good.
it's cool that you know people that made it.
Yeah, I played it when it came out. I watched the credits and was like, I know like half these people.
Wow, half of them even. Damn, all right.
Yeah,
Mr. or popular
a
over
lot
here.
of a lot of people when they work at Nintendo, they don't typically leave.
Oh,
So
they're
it's just
forced. They're
it's
forced to
kind of
the
expected.
barracks forever. That's funny.
Yeah, a lot of Nintendo employees are there for life just because they like it.
Oh well, that's fair. Uh, can I ask why you left?
I because I worked on the consoles, I wanted to be able to work on games, but I didn't really have that opportunity. So I was like, I'm gonna go to a game studio, and then
Oh,
I
okay.
left that after 6 months. I was like, this sucks.
Oh no, you found it the hard way. Listen, hey, I went to college to pursue like computer science, and when I got in, I was like, damn, I don't like this. So I kind of get it. Plus,
Yeah,
we had a video game like design club, and it was there the first semester I went to college, and then it was like gone by the second. And I was like, okay, well, there goes all my hopes and dreams, I guess. Even though I wouldn't have ended up liking it anyway, I don't think. I like playing the games, not making them. Too complicated.
yeah,
I'll leave that to the professionals.
very fair. Like I'd still like making games. It's just a matter of like, man, that studio was not it.
Yeah, my thing is I just the whole programming aspect too much for my small brain. So, and yeah, I know like working for game studios can be a horrible pain in the ass, especially in modern days. So,
Yeah, it all depends on where you go, and sometimes they're good. Most of the time, they're not.
mm-hmm. Oh, I've heard so many horror stories. But yeah. Well, it's cool that lore. That lore is cool. That's all I can really say. I'm actually very fascinated by that. I had no idea. So, or you know,
Fun little tidbits.
I mean, it's cool that it people watch speedrunning in the company, and I mean, obviously, it helped lead you to speedrunning. So, I don't
Yeah,
know,
through
pretty cool.
a roundabout way. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's connected in some aspect. So,
Everything is always connected.
yeah, it's too true. So, you said after, so actually with 3D World, did you push it very far, or was it just kind of dipping the
Um,
toes in?
my any percent time is a 145, which when I stopped was like
I imagine
19th.
that's pretty good. Yeah,
It's
I
currently
recall a
like
4x being pretty fucking good.
it's currently 74th, I think, on the leaderboard.
Wow, that many people have picked
Uh,
it up since. That's actually kind of crazy,
I
because
think
that's the
the
Wii U version. So, right?
well, the Switch version now.
Oh, did you run
I,
this? Did you not do the Wii
yeah,
U version?
no, I played the Switch version. I think
Oh,
Luigi
okay.
Master has like a 126 or something.
Yeah, okay. I misunderstood earlier. Never mind. So yeah, I mean, no, that's still really good.
Yeah, 140, like a 14X, like when it came out was definitely like, oh, how much faster can it really go? And then it kept going.
As all things tend to do in this community. Wow. Yeah. Again, 6 speed game. So,
Yeah.
and then it led to what, Paper Mario?
Yeah, I took a brief detour into the Dog Island, but Paper Mario was the one that stuck.
The dog. I. You can't just say that and expect me to know what you're talking about.
Here's the case for chat.
Oh my! That's a thing that exists, huh?
Yep.
Never heard of that.
The English version I actually got for $1 at a Nintendo garage sale.
Very good. I'm guessing
Uh,
that's the classic Wii shovelware.
it's it looks like it. It's actually like the story is really funny because it's about cancer.
Okay. So
You
much
play
lore today.
you play as a dog, and your dog's sibling, brother or sister, you get to choose, has cancer. Um,
Okay.
and so you go to the Dog Island to find the cure for cancer, and that's the story.
Oh, the Wii never change.
The studio that made that game, by the way, if you look at their back catalog, every other game they've made is a WWE game.
Incredible. Again, never change. We. My gosh. All right. So, what's the speed run for that? Like,
It's about 2.5 hours. It is mostly movement based. You control the game entirely with a single Wii remote using the pointer, uh, pointing at the screen, and where you point determines how the dog moves. You can on the Wii version specifically, you can kind of drift around corners because you can control the camera while pointing. On the PS2 version, they kind of limit that movement a little bit, and it's not as cool.
hmm.
But then there's an RNG check about an hour in where you need to get a fish, and it's about a 16% chance that you do.
And if you don't
And
run over,
if you don't, you lose like 20 seconds
okay,
every single
that's
time.
it's not as bad as I thought, unless the game's like very optimized.
The current record isn't like super optimized. Like, I don't think he gets first try, but I mean, at that point, you're rolling RNG for
Oh,
first try.
okay. You mean it's 20 seconds every time, and then
Yeah, every time
it
you
can
don't get
stack.
it.
Okay, it can stack.
Yeah.
That makes it far worse. Yes. Okay.
I ran that game in person at Glitch Infinite in 2022.
Oh, okay. Was that
Um,
GSA, right?
yep. Yeah, that was
Okay.
GSA.
That was right before they started doing Pace again, because I went to Pace Fall.
Yeah, yeah. It was like right in between.
Was Glitch Infinite at Xanadu?
Yep.
Oh, well, we've been to the same place then.
Yeah, because Glitch
Rest in
Infinite,
peace. It's
it's going
discontinued at
away.
this point.
Yeah, yeah. Because
R.I.P.
Glitch was the VGBC Smash tournament series,
Hmm.
and then they just decided to do that with GSA for some reason.
Yeah, there's a whole history with how that went. I'm not knowledgeable enough to talk to explain it in detail, but
Yeah.
yeah, they some things worked out very well for them with that partnership. Which means you got to visit lovely Laurel, Maryland. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
the
so
the
sorry.
land of literally nothing.
True. And not they have horse shit smell and no good pathing between the venue and anywhere else. So
Yep.
they've got some things.
Yeah,
Honestly, I will not miss Laurel. I've been there. How many? I've been there like 5 times for pace events. Oh gosh,
oh yeah.
I know all about Laurel now.
They'll
Unfortunately,
need to find a better venue.
uh, yeah. But rest in peace. I mean, Xanadu, the venue itself, was perfectly fine. So
Yeah, and just getting there is
the
awful.
location was not perfectly fine, but it will be missed. Rest in peace. But yeah, so the game did get into a live event. That's good.
Surprising.
Yeah, I saw in chat. How is it not in GDQ? Sounds like
Probably
a
because it's 2.5 hours.
yeah. Oh, they've accepted like 8-hour RPGs. Surely it's fine.
Yeah, 2.5 hour Wii kind of shovelware game. It was. I had a hotfix for it, so that's kind of counts.
Yeah, that does count, you know. We always take the hot fixes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just never heard of that game. Fascinating premise.
It's funny. I
Yeah.
actually learned about it because of Game Grumps, but you know.
Oh, great. Mm. I have heard that some Nintendo employees are fans because I know their names were snuck into a Pokemon game.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
not surprising.
Mm-hmm. So, I was just saying I am not surprised. So, guess we're in the same boat then. So, I guess that didn't sound like it was a very long time
It
spent with that game, other than just it being
no.
2.5 hours. So,
It
Paper
was just
Mario's the meat and potatoes. It sounds like.
yeah, for sure. It was like a month or so on Dog Island, and then it came back occasionally for like a world record grind, and then stopped again.
Fair enough. It sounds like a game you can only spend so much effort on.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Only so much RNG.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm an avid RNG hater, so that's why I play Mario 1.
Speaking of RNG, we have Paper Mario.
Ah, great. A good segue.
Uh, which honestly, it's not that bad. It really isn't that bad until you get to like a good time,
Mm,
and then all of a sudden the final fight is a coin flip.
great. Love that. How long's that run again?
Glitchless. My PB is a 347.
And this coin flip, what how much does it affect?
Uh, it affects whether you can kill Bowser or you die.
Okay. Oh, is this just
so
in the game? I'll be honest, I haven't played it, so.
so the coin flip is on turn 2 of the final Bowser fight. If he doesn't do Fire Breath or his butt stomp attack, you do not get to 1 HP, which means you do not have enough damage to kill Bowser.
Oh, okay, so it is part of the game. Yeah.
Yep.
Not part of the casual, but part of the speedrun.
He has a very good chance of using Fire Breath. If he does Claw or Stomp on turn 1, he can't use those on turn 2, which is good because that helps your odds. Um, and if he does Stomp, you need to not block it. And if you don't block Stomp, he randomly takes away one of your menu actions, which can be items, jump, or hammer. And if he takes away items or jump, you're dead.
Ah, great. So, to even complete a run, you have to win an RNG check at the very end.
Yep.
That
And
sucks.
on the third turn, after you have removed his invincibility, he has a 25% chance of reapplying invincibility, which means you also lose.
Fantastic.
So
Sounds like
even
a
if you
great
get through all
time.
that,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm good personally, but
that is the top level fight. There's a safe fight that is 100% consistent, loses 1 minute.
I mean that is a significant amount of time, but
Yep.
can't be doing
That's
that
fine.
on record pace, unfortunately.
Yep. And technically, the fight that I do has a backup for if he does claw on turn 2, which that backup loses like 30 seconds
Hmm.
if you have to do it. But your run doesn't die if he claws you.
That's good. 30 seconds is a bit of time though,
Yeah.
because I assume Paper Mario, again, I'm not very familiar with it, but I assume it's like very optimized for what it is.
Yeah, the route that I use kind of plateaus around like a 343 flash high 342. But those times also require really good RNG. The record route doesn't require as much RNG throughout the entire run. It's much more consistent, but you have to mash in such a way that very few people are even capable of doing it consistently.
So they don't allow turbo. Okay.
No. It's also a stick mash.
Oh, you mean
It's yeah.
like Wind Waker bullshit, or?
It's mashing the stick to the left
Okay,
specifically.
so not like okay. So like
And
uh, frame walking in Mario 64, where you is it like neutral and then a full direction constant?
it's neutral, and then it's like 30% to the left is optimal.
Okay, so almost
Yeah.
very similar to frame walking Mario 64.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's about going neutral to 30%, back to neutral, back and forth. Uh,
yeah, that's not fun.
basically at basically like 14 inputs per second.
Yeah, that's hard. Do you have to do that
Yep.
a lot too?
The optimal route does that. Let me count real quick. 3, 5, 8, 9, 12 times.
And how long is each mash?
Uh, Only really like 5-ish seconds.
Okay.
But what it's doing is you're filling a meter, and if
Mm,
you get that meter to 100%, all of the enemies run away. And if
got it.
you
Okay.
don't get that meter to 100%, every enemy has a chance to run away based on how full the meter is.
Hmm.
So you're
Optimally, you
probably,
just want it all the way. Yes.
yeah, if you don't get it all the way, good luck.
Okay. Yeah, this is very similar to Frame Walking Mario 64. Um, although they only do that once because it's so hard.
Yeah,
Uh, now I think they have to do full direction neutral, which is a lot harder. But
yeah. I think Lopez, who has record, he uses a Hori for it, and on his
mhm.
Hori he has a stopper,
Oh, interesting. Okay.
so that it just doesn't go all the way, which
Yeah.
helps a
So
little bit.
yeah, that makes sense. That's cool. Good workarounds. The Hori coming in clutch as always. But yeah, sounds painful. I don't envy runners that have to do that.
Yep, and only like 2 people actually do that. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, that sounds like it sucks. So don't blame
yeah,
anyone for that. So, and this is the glitchless run, right?
yep, that is glitchless.
Mm-hmm. And is that your primary focus?
Right now at least it is,
Mm-hmm.
because I want to get what is so 344.30, or yeah, 344.31 used to be record like a long time ago, and that's around what I'm trying to beat.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean that's also very hard and depends a lot on RNG.
Yep. What'd you say the record was at now?
340.29 is current record, and Lopez is going for a 339 and
That's gotta suck.
dying.
Yeah, because that I assume needs like every RNG thing
Yep.
as well
Uh,
as. Oh,
and he added more RNG to the route to make it faster.
oh great. Yes. This
Because
is
of
why I
course that's
don't
what you
run
do.
RPGs. Oh man.
But yeah,
Fun game.
that's glitchless.
Yep. And
I've
then
also run
Paper
like all
Mario's known
bosses.
for having glitches as well, though. So.
Yeah, that's where all bosses is my actual favorite category in that game.
Mm. So what's
But
that run like?
the first hour isn't like too crazy until you get to the trick that was discovered in God, when was it? 2023. Called Seed Dupe. Where you can duplicate a very specific key item that lets you enter Chapter 6 much, much earlier than how it was for the previous 20 years the game existed.
Hmm.
And that lets you get the partner Lackluster about an hour into the run. And Lackey lets you break the game severely.
That's good.
Um, and normally he's literally at the end of the run before Seed Dupe was found. So you couldn't really like use him much. But since you can get Lackey much earlier, all bosses becomes let's use Lackey to clip through literally everything.
Very good. I love clipping.
uh, and that includes a lot of frame perfect stuff. Like there's a trick called Clippy. If you're riding Lackluster and you open the partner menu frame perfectly, when you encounter an enemy, you enter a state called Clippy, where Mario's hitbox is shifted and he can kind of go through walls.
Always fun.
And that lets us do things like get Ultra Boots early, and then the first hour of the run is over, and all of a sudden you have the strongest boot upgrade and basically everything you need to just kind of blitz through the game and kill everything.
Hmm.
But all bosses, specifically with Seed Duplication and Lackey, gave you access to some tricks that Rob Dog is a very old Paper Mario glitch hunter, and he discovered a lot of this stuff, like 10 years ago, but it was just never relevant because you'd never have Lackey. But you can, there's a clip in Chapter 2 in Dry Dry Ruins where you push Lackluster across the screen. It's about a 30-second setup, and then a frame perfect input to just clip to the boss of the dungeon.
Nice.
So it turned a 8-minute dungeon into a 2-minute dungeon.
We love those time saves.
So those are just some little things that have changed in like the last 2 years and made that category something that no one wants to play except for me.
Oh, okay. So does that mean you have the record?
No.
Oh, okay.
The record in that is very optimized because random sauce is insane.
Mm.
And he actually did something that I play on GameCube controller for N64. I use a RefNet adapter to do all the mappings. But because I play on GameCube controller, there is a trick that I actually cannot do.
Oh, interesting.
Because remapping neutral on a GameCube controller is awkward, and for how long it takes to reset neutral, it's like 8 seconds, and you have to do it like 2 or 3 times. The trick wouldn't actually save any time.
Hmm.
Whereas on N64, you just press 3 buttons and you're done, and it just does it. But that trick is early seed, and you basically get to clip through something and get an item without paracarry. And skipping paracarry has other ramifications, but it saves a lot of time just to never pick him up. And that's what random does.
Hmm.
It makes the rest of the run significantly harder because there's a few places where you have to get around the fact that you don't have paracarry and do a lot of LZS, loading zone storage, which I don't know if you've ever heard about.
No.
So in Paper Mario, the way a loading zone works is that once Mario touches the loading zone, he actually takes it on frame 2.
Hmm.
So when you touch the loading zone, frame 1, the game says, you're touching this loading zone. We're going to start the transition next frame into this new map. So by frame perfectly jumping across the screen after storing the loading zone, you can enter the next loading zone that you come out of at a skewed angle to where you can fall out of bounds or do like a bunch of other different things. It's very difficult, and obviously frame perfectly jumping for even like 10 times in a row is about some of the longer ones.
Hmm.
Uh, leads to real stupid things.
That's good. I'm glad when games are horribly broken. Although that does sound pretty hard. I mean,
Yeah.
what do I know about frame perfect jumping? But
Yeah, how
I
many
assume
frame
the
perfect
game.
jumps?
I assume it runs at 30 FPS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
30 in quotation marks, depends on the room.
Mm. Some lag can occur, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we love when the frame rate is inconsistent and you need to do frame perfect things.
That's always good. Is it something you can like pause buffer?
Nope.
Oh,
You
even better.
Yeah, you cannot pause while Mario is in the air, so
Yeah, no, that just sucks then. Oh well. The way it goes, I guess.
Yep. And that is the way that the game is. And
So,
thankfully all bosses doesn't really have much LCS, but they're all optional.
so what's any percent like in comparison?
Which any percent would you like to hear?
Ah, yes. It's one of those games. All right. Why not both, you know?
Well, uh any percent is about 30 minutes.
Yes, any percent, any percent.
uh it's 30 minutes. You go through what is the prologue, which is a 20-minute intro that every category has to do. And then you do a frame perfect LZS to skip getting Cooper. Not only is it LZS, but it is LZS across a very large screen, and you actually can't see Mario during it.
Mm.
But skipping Cooper saves like 3 minutes, so every person that does that category does it. So you skip Cooper by doing this. I think it's like 20 jump LZS where you can't see Mario.
What? How? Each jump is frame perfect, right?
Yes.
It, and you can't pause.
Yep.
How?
And
How does this work?
you just know.
You can't just know.
You just muscle memory the timing for this LZS
uh, oh my.
with
Okay.
changing elevations, by the way. Uh, but yeah, so you skip Cooper to get to Cooper's Fortress to get Bombette, so that you can then go into you can do Blue House skip to go into Chapter 5 early. Then you jump on the collision of a tree to do Raft skip to go into the volcano. Inside of the volcano, there is a room that has 2 springs in it. What the game intends for you to do is jump on the lower spring. It springs you up to the other spring to get up to a higher level. However, if you touch the middle spring without touching the first spring, uh, the game doesn't know what you're doing. And then you can use Goombario's Tattle to store the save block text. And then by doing some very fancy movements through the upper parts of the volcano, very precise, you need to walk literally 1 unit at a time into very specific positions. And then it writes to the save file and says the next time that you load this save file, load the end of credits.
So it's an arbitrary code execution type deal.
Yep, that is any percent.
Yep, that sounds like Ace to me. A
So
classic.
any percent no ace is about an hour and a half ish in comparison, where you basically do seed dupe like you would in all bosses or all cards to get to lackluster, and then instead of like going around and beating everything else, you just go to the end.
Mm.
Because the game is very story progress based. There's very few flags gating anything. So if you're in chapter 6, the game thinks, I mean, you're in chapter 6, you've already done everything else. Like you don't have to go do chapter 5. You passed that.
Got it.
So you just go to the end of the game. You are level 3 fighting Bowser.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
So you spend a few turns doing a super jump charge and hoping he doesn't use his wave attack on the wrong turn,
Mm-hmm.
because that removes your charges. And then you try and get a big enough bounce to kill him. And power bounce caps are a thing. You can get randomly stopped at as low as 3 bounces. And you think you need a 5 in No Ace.
So just even more RNG.
Yeah, and that's if you get by Hallway Bowser. Hallway Bowser, you have to use optimally. You would use Timeout, which is a 30% chance to stun him. And if you don't get it, you die.
Fantastic. Definitely not my kind of game. But,
Yeah,
I'm sure to the audience, it must be fun to watch.
yeah. Watching grinds is entertaining,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously there are safe routes like SGDQ 2023. Like none of those risky routes were used. It was a very safe hallway and final Bowser fight that you just can't lose as long as you execute perfectly.
Wow. Very complicated sounding game.
Yeah,
I should play it
uh,
sometime.
you should.
I know. Listen, my backlog is like 500 games. We'll
It's
get
fine.
there.
The game's only like 4 hours long.
Yeah.
You can hold B through all of the text, and it just automatically scrolls at the fastest possible speed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll be sure to play the game that way my first time. I'm sure that wouldn't piss anyone off. But
No one
yeah.
would notice.
No, surely no one. But yeah. I'll get there eventually. Um, but yeah, the speed run very fascinating. Um, I knew the tricks were hard, but goddamn. And then just every
Yeah,
RPG has RNG, so not surprised at all.
yeah. It's honestly like fairly tame for RNG until you get to those like record level, top level grinds.
Hmm. Got it. So, is that what you've spent most of your time doing? Is that game?
Yeah. I technically stopped grinding it at the end of 2022 because I was kind of burnt out after
Don't
like two
blame you.
years of 2 years of playing it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I switched. Thankfully, in 2022 is when the randomizer came out, and that made things a little bit easier to just like keep playing it and do some content for. Um, but I mostly at that point had switched over to like trying other games. I am currently back to grinding glitchless because I do want a good time, but I took a pretty big gap.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. So, sounds like it'd be mentally taxing
Yeah,
for
for sure.
sure. With yeah, I've never run anything quite that long before, so
Yeah,
I
most
can't
games that
imagine.
I run are around that length,
Yeah,
but
most games I run are like 10 minutes, so very different mindset here.
yeah,
Although the longest category I've ever done, I'm pretty sure, is we have some fun Mario 1 category extensions, and one of them is 11x warpless. So you beat the game warpless 11 times in a row. That takes 3.5 hours. So,
Interesting.
so that's as close as I can get. It doesn't really count because you're just doing a bunch of warpless runs, but
Right. Yeah, I think the longest category I've done is Paper Mario Glitchless 100%.
Oh no. How long does that take?
uh, 6.5 ish hours, give or take.
Ooh. Yep. I don't think I could do that. Maybe
And
maybe
that's
someday.
obviously like once you kind of know what's going on, because your first run's probably going to be more like 8 hours.
Hmm. Yeah. Eventually I'll have to try like a game that takes forever. I mean, I've done 120 star, I guess, but that's
Yeah,
still
that's a little bit.
it's a little bit, but like not
That's
ridiculously long.
yeah.
It's 2.5 hours for me. I mean, I guess
I mean,
that's
for
getting there a little bit, but not quite the
yeah,
length of some things.
yeah, 2.5 hours is like the length of my shorter speed runs.
Meanwhile, it's like my longest one. So that I think that's like my longest one that isn't, a meme where it's 11 20-minute runs. That's like actually just one run. So,
True.
and my PB that used to be almost 6 hours. So, but that was like a fast casual playthrough.
Fair.
Years later, I do one more run and get a 2:30, get a nice 3.5 hour PB. Feels good. But yeah, that's my experience with long runs. So you can see the difference here, I guess.
Yeah. My other like, because after I took a break, I started playing like Minish Cap, which is, I mean, it's a short Zelda game, relatively. Like any percent is an hour and 30 to an hour and 40, depending on the route that you do. Glitchless is like 2.5 ish hours.
And this is short Zelda games, huh?
Yeah.
Mm. And I know Zelda 1 pretty short in comparison, but
Yeah. But Minish Cap only has like 5 real dungeons plus the final dungeon,
mm,
compared to like Link to the Past technically is shorter, but it has way more dungeons.
mm, I see. Yeah. Again, not too familiar with Zelda either. There's so many games I'm just not familiar with. But
Yeah. Compared to like, because I've also played a bit of Twilight Princess, and that is a much longer game.
yes, I've definitely seen some of the times of Zelda runs. No, thank you, but
Oh, you know, just a casual like 6 hour glitchless run.
mhm, it's great. So I guess what games have did you turn to during the break? There's those two. Was it primarily Zelda? Was it just a bunch of stuff?
Um, so in the last year, I played a lot of different games, just trying to find like what I wanted to do. And I wasn't expecting to go back to Paper Mario,
Hmm.
but I got motivated again when Lopez was grinding after he came back from his break. But like I played a lot of Pokemon Coliseum, which is that's a run.
Yeah.
Uh, Mega Man Battle Network, that series is just a childhood favorite. Uh, Primarily, I've speedrun Battle Network 1 and 6.
Hmm.
I've not learned 2 through 5 at all.
Another franchise I know nothing about other than it's Mega Man RPG esque, I guess.
Yeah. Mega Man deck building action RPG.
Yeah, I like Blue Man shoot pellet game. So a little different.
Yeah, you do get to shoot with the Buster quite a bit in Battle Network 1
Hmm.
while you're waiting for your next hand to get drawn. Yeah, Battle Network 1 is funny because that was obviously the first game, and they did not think to give you a way to run away from battles. In Battle Network 2 and on, during your draw, you can press L to attempt to run away. Battle Network 1, you have to draw a chip that lets you run away.
Hmm.
It's guaranteed if you draw it, but your odds of drawing it are like 20% ish. So that's fun. And then every time you don't draw, you lose like 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I love RNG, as we all know. So.
Well, Pokemon Coliseum is probably my favorite Pokemon game. That game has a lot of RNG.
Hmm. Now, I'll leave the
Not
RNG to the
only
professionals.
not
Not
only
for
does it
me.
have a lot of RNG, but you have to do a frame perfect RNG manip at the very beginning at 60 FPS.
Oh, that runs at 60, huh?
It only runs on 60 on the screen that you have to do the RNG manipulation.
That's unfortunate.
It runs at 30 in game,
How could they do this?
but you on the name selection menu it runs at 60, and you have to select the name on the right frame.
Mm-hmm.
Not only is it the right frame, the frame is never the same. You have to calculate the frame that you have to press the A button on by doing a 5-minute setup to calculate your RNG seed.
Okay. You're losing me here.
Yeah, so you do this really long setup to using a tool to calculate what your game's RNG value is, and then it says, "Oh, you need to press A on this frame to get the Espeon that you want." It's like, okay, and then you watch a minute-long cutscene, you check the Espeon, it's not right, and you reset. You do it again.
Huh. At one point, does it become a tool assisted?
Well, that's the only time. Well, other than having a spreadsheet open to do damage calcs.
Okay.
But that's not even the fun part. The fun part is 20 minutes in when you catch Quilava and you see, oh, this Quilava special tag is bad. I need to reset now.
And this is your favorite, you say?
It's my favorite Pokemon run, yes.
Is that a high bar? Or...
To be fair, I haven't run a ton, but it's very cool once you get past that.
All right. Well, how about this? What are the cool parts about it? Because I've just been hearing a lot of bullshit so far.
Uh, okay, well, I don't know if the cool parts are going to be any better.
What?
The cool parts are that it's mostly fight routing. The downside to fight routing is that you need to do things like hit Fire Blast, which is 80%.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the routing is so cool.
Okay.
And then you get to Dakim 2 like 3 hours in, and he leads with Flygon, and the route says, "Oh, he led with Flygon. You have a 70% chance to just die."
Mm.
And then your run is over.
Yeah, you're really making this sound great. I gotta say.
the there's a It's just such a dynamic speedrun because very few other Pokemon games are actually really truly dynamic. But Coliseum, it's all double battles, which is also unusual because most Pokemon games are single battles. Double battles, so you have Espeon and Typhlosion out at all times. You manipulate your Typhlosion's HP so that it always stays in Blaze, which is so below 30% HP, it gets a big boost to its fire attacks. So you're doing that to also manipulate the AI to like target Typhlosion. So that Espeon is safe. So Typhlosion can do things like protect on turns to bait attacks, and use Dig to also bait attacks that'll miss.
Hmm.
And then
So it's kind of like a puzzle based on what's happening. You kind of route it on the fly what you need to
yeah,
do. Okay. I can
yeah, and
see
then
the
I'll
appeal, I guess.
basically every trainer past a point has various different leads they can do. They don't necessarily always lead the same two Pokemon, whereas in like the other mainline Pokemon games, they're always going to lead with like their, I don't know, whoever they have in the front. But in Coliseum, the two Pokemon they lead aren't necessarily the same, and there's a big list of things like, oh, if they led this, do this. If they led this, do this. So it's very cool in that regard.
All right. I can kind of see the appeal in there. Maybe not for me, but
Yeah,
I
it's
do get it.
there's a lot of RNG, and then some people you'll watch do runs, and then they just don't get past the RNG manip for like an hour.
Yay. All right, how long does it take to do the RNG minute again?
About 5 minutes between
Okay.
attempts.
And is that like part of the run?
Nope. The run starts when you select new game, and the all of the like setup for the RNG manip is before you even select that.
Oh. Okay. Why does it take
the
5 minutes?
so you go into there's a mode called free battle. You or battle now. You go in there, you see what random team it gave you. You enter the name of the random trainer and the first Pokemon into a tool. You do that 6 times, and then it calculates how many more times you need to re-roll RNG before you can get to an Espeon that is good.
Uh-huh.
And the timing for this game predates the RNG manip tools. It's kind of why it's not included, but also it would
Uh-huh.
suck. So
Fascinating. Best way I can
what
describe it.
what people would do before this tool existed is they would just YOLO and say, "Oh, this Espeon sucks. I can't play the game," and then just retry.
Hmm.
But you're always looking for a Espeon with a specific nature that gives it plus special attack, and then you're looking for good enough IVs to just sweep the entire game.
Mhm. Do you know what the odds without manipulating RNG is?
Uh, for the way that the game is routed, probably near zero.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but pre RNG manip, they wouldn't have routed it this way.
Yeah, okay.
Because for the current route, you actually want Espeon's hidden power to be a grass type, which means its IVs need to be very, very, very specific. Um, because you're running Espeon on Typhlosion, and in order to actually like be able to hit certain Pokemon, you just need the grass type hidden power on Espeon.
Okay.
So that's kind of what you're going for.
Games fascinate me. That might be one of the most absurd things I've heard. That you have to do. 5 minute setup just to push A to start the run.
Yep.
That's wow. I play Mario 1. I don't know if I mentioned this, but that that's pretty straightforward.
I mean, we can talk about more RNG manipulations because Minish Cap has a ton.
Oh, great. What is it with you in RNG game?
Well, Minish Cap actually doesn't have a ton of like. It's not like crippling RNG because you can manipulate all of it,
Hmm.
and so you just play perfectly, and it's fine.
Yeah, just that's fine. Just play perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah, the
See,
I
now you're speaking my language. Just play perfectly.
yeah. So I actually don't do this in my PB because it's hard, but
Ah, okay.
you can actually manipulate the entire final boss for Minish Cap.
Mm.
Um, from the point where you save and quit after getting the last small key for the dungeon, and then you do frame perfect inputs for the next 3 minutes to manipulate the AI for Vadi. Vadi fights 1 and 2 as well as the Dark Nut fight that's like right before that. So that's
Yeah,
about how that fight goes.
got it.
No one really does the same RNG manipulation because some people are gonna have issues replicating what other people do, so they kind of figure out their own that just works. And manipulating like the Dark Nut fight is not too bad, but then chaining that into Vadi is very difficult. Just because you do a lot of things that advance RNG in that game, like rolling and swinging your sword,
And most basic movement.
using your Pegasus boots.
My brain is just having a fun time thinking about all this.
Yeah, SGDQ 2023. I commentated for Myth's Minish Cap run, and he got Vadi Manip into phase 2 of Vadi, which is really
Mm,
impressive because he actually modified his Manip on the fly so that he'd have 69 rupees going into Vadi.
that's so based. Nice.
Because he recognized during the Darknet fight he had 68 rupees, so he changed what he was doing to make sure the Darknets dropped a green rupee.
The things speedrunners do.
No one mentioned it, no one really noticed, but he was like, "Yeah, that's what I did, and that's why I failed the Manip."
Why did you just say that during the run?
No, he said after. He's like, "Yeah, I failed
Oh.
Vadi 2 Manip because I was doing something different to make sure I had 69 rupees."
GDQ. The things we do to show off.
The
Yes.
things that people don't even notice.
And yeah, they don't even notice. So, just trying to wrap my brain around everything I've heard so far because it's all so complicated.
It's a lot of RNG.
It's a lot of RNG. Yes, I love RNG, as we all know.
Yeah, a lot of figuring that stuff out is not too bad if you have a computer science degree.
Yes, you mean the thing I flunked out of? Yes, it all makes sense now, doesn't it?
It's a lot of smart people trying to figure this stuff out just to save, a few minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll leave that to the professionals, of which I am not, and I don't think I
Yeah,
want to be. You
yeah,
see,
but
I find all my time saved accidentally,
yeah,
so I
but
don't even have to think about it.
you can do FPG one-handed.
I can do that, but there's no RNG involved there. You just play perfectly, and it's fine.
True.
Anyone can do it. I mean, it's consistent. You just hit a bunch of frame perfect inputs on the right frames with
Just
one hand.
just do the just do the same thing every
Just do the
time.
same thing. It's fine. Still, to this day, I don't know how I did that. It's so stupid. I wasn't even going to go for it. That's why they were reading donations. I was like, especially like, yeah, nothing's gonna happen in this stage. Just read donations. I was like, you know what? It would be funny.
Just do it.
Just do it. I can't even. I don't know. Anyway, let's go back to you, I guess, because I know there are some other games in there. I don't know if they're all equally as absurd as everything else so far, but you would know.
Um well, so Twilight Princess I actually learned a little bit of early this year because I was learning all dungeons, which is absurdly hard. And then like kind of recently I was like, I saw Monado playing glitchless. I bet I can beat his time.
All right, nothing like
So
a little
I, I
rivalry.
I did a couple glitchless runs. I was like, this is a fun run. There's really not a lot that can go wrong. It's just like play good.
Play good.
Um
Finally, a game for me.
play play good except for Bo. Um
It's
I
always
can talk
something.
I can talk about Bo RNG.
I mean, why stop now, right?
Because you sumo wrestle against Bo and also Gorkoron, who is a elderly Goron, and it is rock paper scissors,
Oh,
followed by a 12 hertz A button mash,
oh,
optimally.
I can hit like 11.
Well, then you'd have to like grab him twice. That's fine.
Oh, okay, not good enough. I can get
You'd
12 on a
have
good day.
instead of winning RPS once, you'd have to win twice.
Hmm.
But Bo's RNG, you wrestle him twice in a row, and he has different odds for different actions in the two different phases. He has a 50% chance to slap in phase 2 and a 25% chance to go for a sidestep. So, optimally, you slap. Because if you slap his slap, nothing happens. And if you slap his sidestep, you win.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Makes sense.
25% of the time he goes for a grab and he beats your slap and you cry.
I see.
And then Gorkoron, in the last run that I did, I lost 2 minutes to wrestling because I rolled a 30% chance for like 2 minutes. And I was just like, this is really annoying.
Like, just kept rolling a 30% odd.
Basically.
Like, how many times?
I don't know, like 20.
What? That seems impossible.
Because Gorkoron is very likely to go for a grab, which means that if you just sidestep his grab, you should theoretically basically win. But then he doesn't go for a grab like 30% of the time, and it gets really annoying.
Huh.
Because if he doesn't go for a grab, it kind of snowballs a little bit in that you now have to win multiple rock, paper, scissors interactions instead of just the
Okay.
one.
So it's not just like,
It's not a pure, like.
yeah. Because if it was, I'd be like, we're getting absurd odds right now.
Yeah. So it's like you're in a big sumo ring, you have to push him out. So once you do grab him, you have to mash A to push him out. And if you don't mash fast enough, then you have to win another interaction. And if you lose that interaction, you have to win like probably 2 more interactions, and it just.
Mm-hmm. It
But
compounds.
outside of that, the run is really cool.
Well, that's
And
good.
thankfully, that's an hour into a 6-hour run.
And it doesn't sound like the time swings are horrible.
Yeah, on average, you shouldn't be losing more than like 20 seconds.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine
Yeah.
enough. 6-hour run, I think.
And in the glitch categories for TP, you would never wrestle Gorkoron, and you only wrestle Bo, and you do that like 6 minutes in.
Okay. Finally,
Because
this seems like normal.
yeah, because in a glitch category you do back in time, which gives you your sword and shield and hero's tunic and everything else, and sets a bunch of story flags, which means you can wrestle Bo immediately, which is in its own way kind of nice.
Mm-hmm. Zelda games are they're all uniquely messed up. It's great.
Yeah, and Twilight Princess is the first one where playing on the title screen actually lets you do stuff.
Can't you do that in like Skyward Sword too?
Yeah, Skyward Sword also lets you do a lot with that. It's not quite. I think it's more powerful in Skyward Sword,
Hmm.
because you get access to like all of Skyloft. But in Twilight Princess, you only get access to the Bridge of Eldin, which isn't like super interesting, but it does mean that because on the title screen, you have a sword, you have the Hylian shield. Epona is technically tamed, which is like a uh, pre Goron Mines second dungeon state. So by voiding out and resetting your console in the same frame, you end up on the title screen able to control Link, and then you just save over your file and then save warp back to where you were, but with everything that you have on the title screen.
Hmm. Just that easy, huh?
Yep. And you can buffer that too, so it's not even
Oh,
like.
okay, so it's actually not terrible. Great.
Yeah. Yeah, the frame per because the on the GameCube controller, if you hold X, B, and start at the same time, it will do the soft reset of the console.
Hmm.
So by having like the map screen open, you hold X start, and then you press B to close the pause screen, and oh, you're soft resetting the console. Cool.
Huh. That's very
And then
convenient.
you just end up on the title screen controlling Link, save over your file, and you're good.
All right.
There's some other stuff you can do there. That's the basic back in time. There's back in time equipped, which is if you are on the title screen and you void out and load a file at the same time, that also does funny things. It loads you into a boss fight, actually, against King Bulblin. which means that after you kill King Bulblin, you end up in Kakariko Village, which is a very interesting place to be because you can do that from the very beginning and then end up, like 2 hours into the game.
It's just that easy.
Yeah.
Zelda runs. Like I said, all uniquely broken. I love it.
Yeah, they're very cool and very broken.
Oh yeah. And that's why we love them. I should play a Zelda game sometime. You'll come to notice here that I played like nothing.
So you've played Mario.
I have played Mario. It's true. Most Marios actually.
Oh, okay, most of them true. Most Mario platformers.
Yes. I've done spin-offs, but yes.
Okay. Like baseball.
I have done. I did have Mario, the Wii baseball one. Yes.
Okay. I've watched a speedrun of that exactly once.
Perfect. That's all you need. Yes. Other Nintendo franchises I have not really messed with. All other ones. Like
All of them.
like yeah, I'm a fake fan. See, I'm not a Nintendo guy. I'm just Mario, clearly.
Yeah, I mean, outside of like Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, I honestly don't really play a lot of Nintendo stuff.
Hmm.
I did very briefly try and learn Kirby 64 100%,
Hmm.
and then I was turned off by the mashing.
Yeah. Games with a lot of mashing. Yeah, sucks.
Yeah, because the way the optimal movement in that game works is you can cancel the end lag of Kirby's fire ability by jumping, and
Hmm.
then just immediately using fire again,
Hmm.
and which just means you're alternating A and B constantly.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun to do for extended periods of time. So
Yeah,
I get
especially when that's what you do in the first like entire world,
it. Great.
and then you reset and you have to do it again.
I am happy to say that I just got RetroTink 5X using Christmas money. So with that, I would like to stream a lot more casual things so I could actually play more Nintendo games. I could
Do it.
yes, I know. I could stop being this person this interviewer when people talk about all these Nintendo runs. I'm just like, yeah, what's that game like? And they're like, you haven't played it? It's like, yeah, we'll get
I'm
there. Never
uh
really played Zelda or Kirby or Metroid.
I mean, to be
Mm,
fair, I've barely played Metroid games either.
yeah. Oh, we'll get there. My backlog is so massive. Oh well. But yeah.
Yeah.
I am at least a little familiar with a lot of the speedruns though. At least at a very basic knowledge. Like again, I know all Zelda games are broken as hell and it's great. No. I know RPGs have RNG. It's most of the acronym. So
RNG PG.
yep. So I know enough to get by. I, the intricate details though kind of confuse my brain, as we've noticed so far, because that's like mostly what you're familiar with.
Yeah. I mean the basics of like, oh, RNG, it means that you can surely there's a way to get around RNG to make it consistent.
Oh no!
Surely.
Listen, I have done a bit of Punch Out. There's nothing you can do at all, except for one thing that they use in like the single segment run, which requires like an 8 frame window and like not pressing a specific button up until that 8 frame window 5 minutes in.
Yeah, I mean with Paper Mario, like with Paper Mario there is no RNG manipulation because that game just decides it's going to advance RNG regardless of what you do every single frame.
Ah, so they just hate you. Great. Sounds
It's like,
about right.
yes, we have all these things that advance RNG. What if we also just called RNG every frame anyway?
Those
Like,
bastards.
It's like, oh, thanks, guys. Thanks. You completely ruin any chance we ever had.
No, yep. See, this never will affect me because I purposely stay away from any major RNG games. Watching them's
Uh,
fine, it's great. But if I have to deal with it, I'm out. I'd get too pissed too quickly. Like, I already play Mario 3, which, and not at a top level. Except
yeah.
for, like, the no wrong warp run, where you have to win a 1 in 8 to be
Oh,
able to play the
right.
game.
Yeah.
The hands, yeah.
Yep.
That is enough to, like, drive me insane. And that's
Yep.
nothing compared to most things.
I remember Mario 3 was probably one of the first runs I ever watched. And I was like, oh, this sounds like bullshit.
Yeah. And you decided to give yourself even more bullshit.
Apparently.
Hey, if you're having fun with it, I'm not judging, I guess.
Then I played so many randomizers, like, oh, maybe RNG in some runs isn't even that
I
bad.
mean, randomizer's different at least, right? Like, the whole point is it's an RNG fest, and
Yeah.
you're not really, you can't really speed run that competitively because of it being
Yeah.
just literally RNG. So
Yeah. And a lot of the fun of randomizers is like, oh, well, what can I do to, like, I need this key item, but what can I do to, like, just ignore it?
yeah, I mean, yeah, the whole point of randomizers is just to beat the game,
Yeah.
finding unique ways to beat the game with the randomness. Like,
Yeah, that's usually the fun part is you get to see like, oh, all these strats that would never be relevant in an actual speed run because
mhm.
why would you ever do this?
So like that I get because it's different. It's like a side quest, but
Yeah.
but
Like
like
cheating in unique ways.
but like actually going for PB where you need all this crap, it's like that is not my cup of tea. I'll leave that to the professionals and just watch and observe from a distance.
Yeah, like
That's my thing.
yeah, that was the one nice thing like starting with 3D World was being like, oh, there's not really RNG in this.
Yeah, I
There
don't
is,
recall
but
there.
like not really.
Yeah, I don't. Most Mario games usually don't have anything too ridiculous.
Yeah, I can't think of any like Mario platformers that have like stupid RNG.
Yeah, not well. Mario 3 has pretty stupid RNG, but at least top level for everything.
Yeah.
Um, I know Mario 64 120 star has a little bit. But
Yeah. That's mostly coins, right?
yeah, coin spread and yeah, but it can be yeah, it can lose a lot of time over the course of a run, but it's not like insane. But you can lose
Yeah.
runs to it. I think it's more rare for you to lose runs to it directly though.
Yeah. Like
Um,
3D World 80% was really just like, oh, the boss patterns are a little RNG, but at the same time it like doesn't really matter. So who cares? Like Boom Boom going a different direction, he's still gonna stop. You're still gonna have to like wait for him to stop anyway.
mm-hmm. Yeah, no. I can't think of. I think Mario 3 is just one of the big ones. Mario World I think has a little bit with certain clips have like a 1 in
Yeah.
4 chance of working. Um yeah, can't, I don't know how Sunshine works or Galaxy. I don't think Galaxy. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. I think Galaxy has some, but like again,
Yeah.
nothing major.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar, so yeah. I stick with the Mario for this exact reason.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I did one Galaxy run at some point to be like, is this fun? Never mind.
You see, I see in chat Mario RNG thinking of Hammer Bros. If we're talking Mario 1, technically it's not RNG. You just get there, just know your frame rules and do the same thing every time. It's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just if you always do the same thing, there's no
There's
RNG.
no RNG. Yeah, it's great.
Meanwhile, someone like me is like, man, these Hammer Bros are really fucking annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair. Just get good. Then they're not a problem.
True.
Yeah, just get good. It's fine.
Just have a fire flower, honestly.
On it, that is what I recommend anyone starting off running that game. Is just do fire strats. You don't need to do small only until you have like a want a 50x or something. Like there's really no reason not to. It makes life so much easier.
Yeah.
Like I can get like a 50. I have like a 502 with fire. Like now, and I can consistently get like 504, 505s with fire. Like you can get pretty good times with fire. It's fine. Now,
Yeah.
so I do actually recommend people learning that game to just always do fire until you want to like actually think about sub 5 or something. Which
Imagine
you can
any.
also get sub 5 with fire, although then that's actually kind of hard.
I mean, if you're already at that threshold, why use fire anymore?
Exactly. But anyway, I play Mario 1 as we've established. So, I am not the RNG guy. That is me, not that.
I've seen you play Mario 2.
I have played Mario 2. I don't think that has any, well, let's see. Like Birdo, what they spit can be bad sometimes, I guess. But it's not. I think
Yeah.
overall, especially I think the way that game works is like each level, like the randomness is set when you start. So no matter what, you play the level the same way every time, you'll get the same RNG.
That's convenient.
I'm pretty sure. Minus Birdo, I think, but like everything else is like very routed. Now that game is just hard, regardless. So that's the problem. Like that is not
Yeah.
beginner friendly.
That game looks so cool, but it's like, oh, never mind.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
game
need
is
to.
not beginner friendly. Um, that's my opinion, but like I struggle to run that game to this day. I have not
It's
put
fine.
much time into it.
I don't even plug my NES in.
Hey, don't disrespect my boy. But but
I
no.
have a front loader that,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I got the
At least
professional top loader AV Famicom RGB modded.
I was gonna try and buy a top loader off of JSR, but he sold it so quickly.
Top loaders are good. Um,
Yeah.
can't argue that. Again, I have the AV Famicom, so it's what the top loader was designed off of for the most part, but it only does Famicom cartridges. But luckily, they
Yeah.
make a Famicom EverDrive, so it's like easy, and
Yeah.
it like loads FDS perfectly for me. Like that EverDrive on like American NESs. Trying to play Famicom Disk System games off the EverDrive can result in very fun glitches that
Interesting.
are very just exclusive to like the hardware not being perfectly correct.
Huh.
My
I have an
favorite is
innate.
like waterfall piranha plants, where the piranha plants just are scrolling all across the street a screen, like moving at the speed of light. It's really cool. I don't have to deal with that anymore. It's great. But
Sounds honestly really funny.
yeah, actually, well, you think it's funny, but sometimes all it does is just crash the game randomly. I don't
Oh,
know if you
that's also
watched.
funny.
I don't, you say that. I don't know if you watched the recent Summoning Salt video, but there's a part where uh that's all like the FDS version of Mario 1 has that exclusive minus world, right?
Hmm.
And so you have to, if you don't have the Famicom Disk System, you have to play off an EverDrive on the Nintendo. And I know that's how Sumwest was doing it when he was doing record attempts, and he shows in the video this time where he's about to get the record, the game crashes. That's because of the EverDrive and not being able to load FDS perfectly correctly because
Uh,
the game just doesn't crash there normally. So yeah,
amazing.
it's great. So be
Uh,
aware of that, I guess. But with my Famicom N8 Pro on my AV Famicom, I don't have issues. It's great. I don't need that FDS.
yeah, I think. Well, I guess Twilight Princess can randomly crash. I don't think I play anything that like actually truly randomly crashes.
I know I don't. I would not. I would not be happy. We've already well established why that would be.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's mostly like a Wii VC thing. As far as like games I would play,
Mm,
VC crashes are silly.
yeah. I'm not too familiar with Wii VC differences. I try to play original hardware as best I can, just out of personal
Yeah,
preference.
yeah. I guess for like the N64 Zelda games, just that Wii VC has exclusive glitches and they combine the leaderboards. So
Yeah, I don't know how I personally feel about that. Like, I kind of like separating leaderboards if there's enough difference.
yeah.
Um, like we used to combine. A good example is for Mario One. We used to have NTSC and PAL combined on the same leaderboard, and the PAL version of the game they changed everything. Like the movement's just completely different.
Makes
Technically,
sense.
the task is like 2 to 3 seconds faster on PAL than NTSC. It's very
Huh.
interesting.
Did they
Um,
just like make Mario move faster to account for?
um, his like jump height is increased, and I don't know if he. I don't know. Everything's just very different. Where and it's different enough where you can get like the full flagpole glitch on any flagpole if you do it right.
Oh,
It's just like really hard. But the task, it doesn't matter. It can do it whenever, so it's fine.
yeah.
And yeah, no, it's just very weird. I know Cosmic made a good video about how it works. I think so, but yeah, I was the one that finally like because I'm a mod. I was like, you know what? We're separating these. They play different enough. It's like if you kept all stars on the same thing,
Oh
and those
god.
are so different.
Yeah, we used to have a combined leaderboard for Paper Mario, but then you have the Wii U version with 250 milliseconds of input delay. By the way, was just
Oh, I do not miss my
three
Wii U. I'll be
was
real,
just 3 minutes faster than N64 because it just was.
because it just was. Yeah,
I was like, oh, this no.
yeah. So I'm personally all for like separating it if they're different enough. Like even Mario 64 does it, and they're
Yeah,
not that much different other than just having less lag.
yeah. The issue was brought up originally because the Switch version had come out. I was like,
Yeah,
it's like, hey, can we just not?
it's just
Everyone wants to play on N64 because it is the best feeling version of the game.
yeah. I know DK64 had combined leaderboards. I think they stopped doing that for similar
Yeah.
reasons because playing on VC can be a pain in the ass. I know specifically
Yeah.
for that game, it's because it was really easy to lag the N64 version, which made clipping really easy, and you can't do that on VC. So it's like,
Yep.
well, now this sucks, but it is faster.
Yeah, and the Switch versions of all the N64 games have like 2 seconds of input delay.
Yeah. You see, that's my problem playing the Nintendo World Championships game that came out. Like, the Switch just has, like, natively, like, 4 frames of input lag.
Yep.
So, or maybe even more. I don't know. It's really hard to get a number, but
Well,
all I know is I cannot play the game as well as I can on NES.
let me open a calculator because technically it's not like actual like frames. It's 100-ish milliseconds
Okay. Oh,
would be
wait.
a
It's 100-ish milliseconds.
yeah
Okay,
for
so it's worse
Bluetooth on
than four
Switch.
frames. Because
Yeah.
that is 6 frames.
Yep. And if
Oh
you use a
my god.
if you use a wired controller, the USB input is actually worse.
I know. That's why I specifically don't. Okay. I'm not crazy. Great. But
Yeah.
yeah, I recently got a 4K television. I plugged in my Switch for the first time, and it has a setting to where there's like no input lag at all. So like if I put in my PS3, I tried it. There was zero input lag. It was amazing. Put in the Switch, it's the exact same it always was. I'm like, yep, that's the Switch.
Uh-huh.
Thanks, guys. So yeah, I just wow. So it was worse than I thought. That by 2 more frames,
Yep.
which is a lot
Well,
when we're talking
it's
NES.
it's funny because it's not even as bad as like the PS5.
No, 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 no.
Unreal Engine games on PlayStation 5 have like 14 frames.
I am so sad. I'm so sad. No.
It just keeps getting worse until we stop buying consoles, apparently.
If this Switch 2 or whatever the hell it will be has like no input lag and I can put my game on there, oh, I'd just no life Nintendo World Championships a lot more.
I would love for a console to just not have nearly as much input lag.
Yeah, that's why I
Oh,
love the NES, SNES, N64. We're chilling. It's
I'll
great.
gladly. I'll take like a couple frames, but man, when you get up to like 6, 7, oh my god.
Yeah, like the N64, well, at least for Mario 64, has like two, I think, and that's just the
Yeah,
way it does things. I know the SNES and NES, nothing.
yeah.
Fantastic.
The I think GameCube controller on Wii has like 1 frame,
Yeah.
which is
Actually, what I noticed is like Wii VC NES, and not Wii U, just to clarify, Wii VC NES is like 1 frame. It's
yeah,
perfectly, it's like manageable. One or two, manageable.
yeah. The Wii is like surprisingly really good.
Yeah, no. Shout out the Wii. Home
One of
of
my
shovelware.
one of my favorite consoles to play not Wii games on.
Yeah. Gotta love that GameCube backwards compatibility.
And all those virtual console games.
Mm-hmm. They did good work there and then ruined it with the Wii U somehow. Where
Yeah,
everything is just laggy as hell. I sold my Wii U for $50 and I don't miss it. I'll be real. I
damn.
I bought it in like 2016 too, like before they ever announced NX. I wish you would have told me, you know. No.
Oh yeah, yeah.
How could you?
Yeah. My Wii U I have set up literally just for like DS virtual console games.
See, I just have a new 3DS, heavily homebrewed and modified XL. Fantastic. I use it so
Yeah.
much.
I just for my hands are large.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, again, I
The
have the XL, so
ah,
it's a little
but
better.
it's not as big as a Wii U gamepad.
The Wii U gamepad is like surprisingly like fantastic.
It's like
Just
really
so
comfortable,
just so comfortable.
and it's
Not
like
not
the
worth the Wii U. Like I still don't
no.
miss it, but that I will give the controller props for being like incredibly comfortable.
I remember turning on my Wii U for the first time ever and being like, "Why is this so slow?"
Yeah. Nintendo. I think they brought it back though and made like the best-selling console ever.
Yeah, until Sony finds like, "Oh, we sold another like 2 million PS2s, by the way."
Yeah, actually, gotta change the number. Ah, just let Nintendo have this one. Just accept defeat. You know they did it.
The PS2 is ancient. Come on.
I still need a PS2 though.
I would like to get a good PS2. There's just so many different models.
Yeah, that's the thing. And the color I'd want, like the variant, I think is Japan only, and then it can't do NTSC at all. Or sorry, not NTSC, but like American, like English.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because they did some stupid uh region lock thing that doesn't exist anywhere else. I don't know. It's all stupid.
Love region locking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've found ways to get rid of it in every way possible. Like my N64, I got a 3D printed shell that can do both. It's
That's
great.
what I did.
Yeah, see? Because I didn't want to
Three.
break the dust flaps.
Yep.
Although, coming back from the last speedrun event, one of my dust flaps broke off anyway, so
Oh.
okay. Didn't end up
Yeah.
mattering, did it?
Yeah, but before I got the 3D printed tray, I just swapped the back of the cartridges.
Yeah, that was the way I've heard most people did
Yeah.
it, but I just
One of my JP Paper Mario cartridges has the back of a Duke Nukem 0 Hour.
nice.
Because
Yeah,
I was like, I'm not playing this.
I got my printed shell for free, so I was like, yep,
I
works
spent
for
like
me.
$5.
Yeah, no. It's the benefits of going to in-person speedrun events. Sometimes you just get shit.
Yeah.
And for cheap too. Actually, no, I might have spent $5 on it or something, actually. I don't remember, but
Yeah, the last SGDQ is when I got a Wii U from someone
I'm sorry. No,
and and sold my RetroTink 5X because I had a 4K.
Ah, see, I just bought a 5X. I was gonna just buy it off someone, but I don't know. I just bought a new one. Oh well.
Yeah, I got the 4K because I was like, oh, it's coming out. Let me make sure I get this pre-order in for this $700 retro tank.
Yeah, I can't justify a purchase that large. I could barely justify the 5x purchase.
I
Although I
could
do have
not
a
really
4K
justify
TV
it.
now, so like technically,
I,
but
I couldn't really justify it at the time, but when I had to upgrade my computer this year, my old Elgato card just wouldn't work.
hmm.
It was
Oh
like
yeah, my
Windows
capture
11.
card can't even do 4K, so it's fine. I hope it
I
can
was like,
do
oh,
1440.
Windows 11 doesn't recognize this device, and Elgato's like, yeah, we don't support that anymore. Like, okay, guys,
Yeah, okay.
let me get a new capture card. And all the new capture cards are like, yeah, you want this 4K card? I'm like, I don't really need it. I'm playing N64 games,
Yeah.
but I guess.
Yep. I bought the retro tank not to play games on monitor. Like I'm still gonna play on CRT. It's just to improve the quality of the capture. I want to ditch
Yeah,
Amarek forever. Please, God, let me ditch Amarek.
yeah. I know a few other people that do stuff like that. I think like Oats and Goats, like he plays on his PVM,
Hmm. I
but he has a 4K retro tank just for stream.
Yeah. Although now I'm worried. I didn't think if my capture card can do that. Well, I know it does HDMI 1080, so at least I have that.
Yeah,
I'm hoping it can do 1440 though, because that's like the max resolution you can get off of 5x.
yeah. I never actually used 1440 on my 5X
Mm,
when I had it, but I output 1440 on my 4K because I have a 1440p monitor.
yeah. No, like I'd still stream in 1080, but I'd like to record in 1440 because
Yeah.
I could technically do that now. But
Lopez for Paper Mario, he records at 4K.
yeah, like it's all a
like you,
slippery slope.
like this game is 240p. You're recording in 4K.
But it looks so good now.
It's so crispy.
You can see every pixel. It's great. And it's
Yeah, you
blown
can
up by multiple factors.
you can see every pixel as a 10 by 10 pixel or something.
Yeah, it's great. Looks so nice.
Uh,
Yep, the joys of upscaling. It's never truly satisfying, but
Meanwhile, you could always just mod your consoles for HDMI.
it's true. Nah, I'm too dumb for that. I'll just stick to what I've got going.
Uh,
Anyway, uh, we got off
yeah,
topic quite a bit.
we
Where were
did.
we?
I don't know.
um, I think we talked about Twilight Princess last, so I
Yes.
guess what else is there? What other games are there?
Uh, I did learn Link to the Past. I don't really like that speedrun.
Mm.
Although I have heard from some people that do play Link to the Past say like, yeah, NMG sucks. Just learn a glitch category, which maybe I'll go back to that at some point.
The glitches in that game are like, wow. I
They're
watched like
pretty
what
cool.
I watched like one run, and like the color palette was completely destroyed, and I was like, oh, fascinating.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff the things that mostly suck in that game are just like boss RNG, which if you do a glitch category, you don't have to deal with anyway.
Hmm, yeah.
Um, I guess Super Mario RPG. I technically routed the breezy category for that on the remake.
Mm.
Um, no one's run it really, but I routed it and I played it myself. But
That's all
everyone
that
just plays
matters.
on normal.
So they added like difficulty options on the Switch version.
Yeah,
Because I don't
breezy
remember
gives
there.
you a 10% more experience.
Oh, okay. Because I don't remember that being in the SNES version.
Yeah.
So
Um,
didn't know they added that.
the core thing about breezy for Super Mario RPG is that you don't actually need to do 100 super jumps
Oh.
because you get more experience and there's a defense debuff on enemies
Hmm.
to the point where the time that it takes to do the 100 super jumps you just make up for by having faster fights anyway.
Hmm.
And the super suit would save you like a turn in a couple fights.
So
over
not
just
worth
not
it.
having
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Okay. It's cool that the runs are very different with it
Yeah.
technically being
It's
the same game.
yeah, it's very interesting because in the remake, doing the 100 super jumps takes a minute and a half of it's a 3 frame window with
Hmm.
switch input delay.
Oh, I didn't even think about the switch input delay. No, you don't have to deal with
So
that on the on the SNES version.
yeah, so that's when I was like, I don't really want to speedrun this. And I was like, what if I did breezy? And saw what that was like. I was like, well, you still need to get to like 42 jumps to kill Johnny, but that's not nearly as bad as 100.
Yeah, slightly more manageable.
And that is the only super jump in the entire run anyway, so
Hmm.
and
Yep.
that gets you the attack scarf, which is a really strong item for Mario regardless.
Was that game the closer for the last GDQ, or was it two GDQs ago?
That was SGDQ, yeah.
Okay, so it was the last one.
Yeah, cuz that was Void doing
Hmm.
that.
Yeah, no, I watched the end of it because I'm always there for the finale, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I assume that was like normal mode.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Void has record for normal still, I think.
Hmm. Got it. Yep. Again,
That run
just cool.
is
It's different.
very silly optimized.
Yeah. I mean, the SNES version is like crazy optimized, especially with
Yeah.
the RNG in that game.
Yeah, the RNG in the remake isn't actually that bad because they made
Wow.
it so you can block single target magic attacks in the remake,
Mm.
which is a really big deal, especially at the beginning. Because on the Super Nintendo, like if Croco throws bombs at you, you just die. But you
Well,
can block the bombs in remake.
the big thing is needing all the freebies to
Yep.
get good runs.
You still need a decent amount of freebies to have like a good run, but it's not as bad.
All right. Well,
And you don't
that's good.
you don't have the RNG manipulation routes.
Hmm. Super Nintendo's like RNG minute.
Yeah, there's an RNG manip for I think it's on Knife Guy Great Guy
Hmm.
to get like 3 rock candies.
Hmm. Was not aware. That's cool.
Yeah. I know they do it in low level also.
Low level. Oh my gosh. Now there's
Which
a
is
can of
funny.
RNG.
It's funny because you do the RNG manip in low level, which is frame perfect,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden you're like, well, I didn't not get experience, so I need to do it again. It's
Yep.
very dumb.
Yeah, that run is fascinating, to say the least. I don't know why people do that, but I guess it's cool.
Yeah, it's cool that it can work.
It's cool that it works and visually interesting, but we're just back on the topic of, dear God, the worst thing ever.
See, I wouldn't even do that myself, so
You see, that's when you know it's bad.
uh
Well,
I did do one co-op run earlier this year of Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
oh, fun. Like the subspace emissary?
Yeah,
Huh. That's,
I
that's
did some
unique.
subspace co-op. That's yeah, it's all skill based, so
That's good.
that's probably the most only skill based thing I've ever played.
That takes quite a while too, doesn't it? Like,
Like 2.5 hours.
okay, so short for you, but like,
Yeah,
got it. Hmm.
there's some fun strats in that.
Yeah, I've watched a little bit. I know there's like tassing scene I follow a little bit. Um, but yeah, no, I mainly just remember it from like 15 years ago or whatever.
Yeah,
But it's what makes Brawl such a good game. They never recreated something quite like that.
yeah, it's like the best part.
Mm-hmm. Uh, guess what else is there?
Actually, there's not really a whole lot else. There's
That's fair. Might
There's
as well
Poke
cover.
Park Wii.
Oh, let's go. Oh, you actually ran that like right before my hotfix run.
Oh yeah, that was like the same day, wasn't it?
Yep. I
Yeah,
remember turning it on to like get to prepare, and I was like, oh hey, that's
yeah,
you
Poke Park Wii. That's
during Poke Park Wii of all things.
it's mostly execution. There's very little RNG.
That's good. I actually one of the few Pokemon games I've fully beaten is that. Ironically
Nice.
enough, yes. That and its sequel I have fully beaten like
Oh,
15 years ago.
I have never actually played Poke Park 2,
Well, I
but
have, so
there you go.
finally I can one up you here.
Yeah, like any percent's not even that bad in Poke Park. It's all friends. That's the 7-hour category that's annoying.
Oh my god, yeah. That game surprisingly has a lot of content, even though it's like very repetitive.
Yep. Very, very repetitive.
Hmm.
I ran that category for really, really longathon last year.
Oh, nice. That's a fun run for that though.
Yeah. You just sit there doing the mini games for like 3 hours,
I don't know
making your
that
arm
sounds
very
chill.
sore.
Yeah, it's a good run for the
uh
marathon, I think.
oh, I have run a game that is under 20 minutes. I'm looking at my list.
Finally,
Shadow of the Hedgehog.
that's only 20 minutes.
Yeah, glitchless neutral route is like optimally 10 minutes in game time.
Jeez. Yeah, I know that game has a lot of branching paths or whatever, but
Yeah.
I didn't realize just one playthrough was so short.
It's funny because it's called glitchless, but there's definitely some things that you might see and it looks like a glitch.
Yeah, that's just
Uh,
called Shadow the Hedgehog.
there's a level with Maria where it's like 20 seconds because you get chaos control, you use it inside of a hallway, and Shadow just speeds to the goal ring through
Very good.
walls.
Sounds about right for that game.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Yeah, I know 3D Sonic games are actually all Sonic games have some cool speedrun stuff about them. Like I've ran Sonic 2, and that game is sick. Like first of all, I love the game just casually, but this speedrun is sick. And then
Uh,
Sonic 3 Knuckles, holy shit.
it's really funny because like I never really liked the Genesis Sonic games.
Uh, I can kind of see Sonic 1. Like, that game's fine. 2 and 3, peak.
Yeah,
And then their speedruns are also peak. So it's just peak on peak. It's great.
they were
Because
never really like for me, but
because I imagine 3D Sonic games, like, speedruns are probably really good. Casually, whoo,
yeah, yeah,
not so
they're
much.
they're a little rough.
Obviously, it depends on the 3D Sonic, but
I mean,
for
even the
the
ones
most
that
part,
people like.
yeah, no, I agree. Like, I mean, I need to again. I haven't really played the 3D ones for reasons, but we'll get there. I liked
Their
Generations.
generation's good.
Yeah, I had Colors. I remember it being pretty good. This was a long time ago though. That's about it.
There's a reason that I say Shadow the Hedgehog is my favorite 3D Sonic, and that's because it doesn't have his friends.
Oh, you don't like the friends? Damn.
I like the Sonic and the Shadow levels,
You just
and
like the
then
damn fourth Chaos Emerald.
and then you have to in like Sonic Adventure you have to play as Knuckles, and you're like, oh, I hate this now.
Hey, Adventure 2, you got Pumpkin Hill, so it's all good.
Yeah. Speaking of RNG.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Like yes, RNG sucks. Would never speedrun that game, but having to route on the fly based on the subtle hint cues, I think that's really cool.
It's cool.
It's cool.
Just you just have to know what all of the hints mean.
Yes. Listen,
Uh,
it's cool to watch be executed. Let me clarify. I would
True.
never run the game myself, but
I I don't remember it's the space level with Knuckles.
Ah, yeah,
I
where
I
it's like
watched
so
people
vertical.
I watched people do like we're gonna do this like 20 times in a row. It's like why?
Gotta get that practice in somehow.
Yeah, it's so painful to watch.
I don't know. Cool speed game. Haven't played it casually. I'll get there someday. I'm gonna be a broken record. That's most games. Probably cool speed game. Never played the game casually. We'll get there
Someday.
someday.
Have you
Yeah,
played Hamtaro?
of course not. If your question is have you played, my answer is 99% of the time going to be no. I'll just tell you that
uh,
right now.
Hamtaro was a game that I learned for a Speedrumizer submission.
Ooh, speed remiser. All right.
Because I was like, I don't play any games short enough for this marathon. It's like, oh, I need something under 90 minutes. Oh, what's something I can learn? Oh, Hamtaro. This is just text mashing
Great,
the entire
perfect.
game. Uh, it's text mashing with a boss fight that's RNG at the very end.
You really just love RNG at the very end. I don't know. I'm
I
noticing a
mean,
big trend right now.
it just so happens to be how things end up, unfortunately.
Yeah, is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, like every game, even Twilight Princess has Zelda RNG.
Yeah, all Zeldas do though,
Yeah,
to some extent. You can
it's like,
manip
oh,
some of it, but not all of it.
it's like, oh, you lost 40 seconds to Zelda. That's normal.
That's actually probably pretty good, all things considered.
Yeah, you just need her to throw 3 balls. That's all you need, and then she just doesn't do it.
How could you?
She likes to summon triangles that lag the game.
Oh, great. All right. Have we kind of covered every game you've
Yeah,
put
that's
effort
pretty.
into?
We're
Yeah.
scraping the bottom of the barrel now.
I mean, hey, you led with that dog cancer game, so at
That's
that point we
true.
had to cover every base possible. Um,
uh,
but I guess we can. I'm curious more about like the live events. I know we covered a little bit, but there's
yep.
been a few more. So, what was the first one you've been to?
The first one I went to was Glitch Infinite.
Oh, really? Okay, that
Um,
was just your
yeah,
first. All right.
that was I ran Dog Island and I commentated JCog's Paper Mario Reverse All Cards run.
Mm.
As that was like 6 months after I started playing Paper Mario. I
So
was
you
like, let
were
me
well
commentate.
qualified, you
Let
know.
me commentate Paper Mario Reverse All Cards, this category that I have simply watched and definitely know a lot about.
I mean, you were probably literally the most qualified person there, so.
Yeah, probably.
So I guess it works out.
Yeah, and then I mean, I've been to 3 GDQs now, and I have commentated runs at 2 of them.
Mhm.
Um, Midwest Speed Fest, I've been to a couple. Those are fun events. Shoutouts to Helix.
Yeah. I think that was my first not in-person event, but I think the first time I ever got accepted to a marathon was Midwinter Speed Sprinter 2018. Um where I did like I remember it because I was in my old college dorm room. Horrible mic because it's like 5 a.m. and I have to be
Hmm.
quiet. So I have the mic like right up to my face. It sounds awful. And I'm commentating alone. It's my first time ever doing commentary, so I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, it was a mess, but I think my run was okay. And I was like super new to. I was like speed running Mario 1 for like 3 months.
Mm,
Like I was
okay.
new. I was new. But yeah,
Yeah,
just random thing I
the
remember.
Midwest Speedfest 2022 was the first year that Paper Mario Randomizer existed, and I did a rando for that.
Hmm.
And like it was pretty close to the end that the TV cut out.
Oh no.
And the only way they could get it back to working again was if we reset the console.
Oh no.
So it lost like after like a 15-minute troubleshooting session, it lost probably like 10 minutes of in-game progress. Like, this is fine. I know where stuff was. Let's let's get back to everything that we had previously.
Gotta love the live tech issues. My favorite.
Yeah.
This has truly never happened before.
Yeah, and then I went to one other Midwest Speed Fest that was earlier this year to run Super Mario RPG.
Remake?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was funny because I had submitted it because I was like, oh, I'm running this game. This is, something I'm enjoying. And then after it got accepted, I was derusting it a little bit and I was like, I hate this game.
Oof.
And then
Hate to
I
see it.
I just yoled it on stage. I was like, oh, this is fine. Oh, I mismenued in this fight. Oops. Uh back up. Come up with a backup plan.
What's a Midwest Speed Fest like in person?
It's honestly like really just kind of chill because they're attached to like other events.
Okay.
So they're currently attached to VGM Con. Um, so it's like a video game music festival basically,
Oh,
and they
that's
just
fun.
happen to be there.
Okay. Hmm.
But yeah, it's pretty chill, pretty like kind of low key.
Is that like
Just
in
a lot of
Minnesota?
people. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not far from Minneapolis, honestly.
Yeah,
The
okay.
last one.
Yeah, I couldn't justify that. I can justify GDQ, but not also that if it's like the
Yeah.
same area, so never mind.
The same area like 2 months before SGDQ.
Yeah. I need something in like Chicago that's like 4 hours. I can make that work. I
Yeah.
know nothing would ever be near my city because it's literally like one of the most dangerous places in the US, so fun times,
I
but
mean, there's nothing in Vegas either, so
mm. Yeah.
the closest we have is RPG Limit Break, and that's in Denver.
Yeah. I know the West Coast is kind of hurting too, especially since Calithon unfortunately stopped
Yeah.
being a thing, but uh
Yeah.
you guys did have TwitchCon in 2023,
That's
GDQX.
that's true.
Just the one time, good enough, right?
Yeah, the one time, and
The
then
one
they
time.
went back to San Jose.
Actually, San Diego is
Oh, San Diego, yeah.
where it is, yeah.
Yeah, it was funny because like everyone complained about traffic during that, and I was like, okay, but you picked like the worst time of the year for this.
Yeah.
Like you literally picked like right when the F1 racetrack was being built.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's crazy.
It's like, yeah. Also, it was like there was a music festival that weekend too, so like Uber prices were spiked regardless.
Yeah, no. Unfortunate.
I think it was also like the same weekend as like a Final Fantasy 14 convention.
Vegas, baby. Oh,
Because I remember looking at Uber prices that weekend, it's like, why is this $60
oh.
to go somewhere? These are normally like 10.
Oh my god, really? Yeah. The San Diego location, very good though. The venue is very good for it. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
I have not seen the Vegas one. I was not there. So I don't
Oh
know.
yeah. LVCC actually does kind of suck. It's in a really bad part of the strip,
Mm,
but like for Vegas conventions, if you want a good location, you pick one of the hotels.
yeah.
You don't pick the convention center that is on the north end of the strip and is like a 10-minute walk to the closest hotel.
Yeah, that sucks. Oh well.
Especially in the summer where it would be outside.
Yeah. Well, didn't have to deal with that, luckily.
Yeah.
San Diego was nice. And then,
Maybe I'll go eventually.
so 3 GDQs, you said.
Yeah. Two SGDQs and then AGDQ this last year.
Are you going in a week?
I am not.
Ah, rip.
I wish I could, but I'm saving money.
That is very fair. You see, they kept
Yeah.
accepting me, so I have to lose all my money, but it's fine.
Yeah, I'll make the trip for SGDQ for sure, though.
But I know PAX West though. That happened.
Yes, the PAX West was a thing that
Mm-hmm.
I did not expect to. I submitted a few things. I was like, they're not going to accept anything. Whatever.
You see, that's what I keep assuming, and then they keep doing it. It's like, okay, I'll take it. I got to travel a lot this year, for better
That
or for
was me with
worse.
also with like the last like the Midwest Speedfest online marathon they're doing at the end of January. I was like, I'm going to purposefully submit things that never gets accepted because it on the one hand, if something does get in, it means it's something that I never get to do otherwise.
Hmm,
On the other hand, I wouldn't have to do anything.
there you
And
go.
then they were like, we're gonna take Mega Man Battle Network single segment. Like, why?
I mean, you brought it
This
on
is not.
yourself, so.
I did. I was like, this is not marathon safe, but okay.
Mhm. So, what'd you get into PAX West?
That was a Twilight Princess randomizer, which
Ah, good.
the reason that I did not expect that to get in, I for PAX West I submitted Twilight Princess Rando and Paper Mario Rando, and I expected if they were going to take anything, Paper Mario Rando is like an hour 40 for a like fast race style seed, and Twilight Princess Rando had just been at SGDQ,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like a 3 hour estimate.
Yes, I do remember.
I was like, okay, you want me to do this? Sure. I've been playing this game for 6 months.
Yeah, it
It's
worked
like,
out, right?
yeah, it's like I'm good enough at it. It's just surprising that you just not taking Paper Mario Rando and submitting this thing for like 4 years feels like. But
Surely someday.
yeah, someday I'll work with the Spike to submit it together as something, and then they
They
have to
can't
accept
say no forever.
it. Yeah.
So, um,
Yes.
so so there were like four in-person events you've done runs for, or three?
That I've done runs for PAX, 2 Midwest Speed Fest, and Glitch. Yeah,
Yeah,
4.
four. Okay.
And then at SGDQ 2023, I commentated 2 runs, and at SGDQ 2024, I commentated Twilight Princess.
All right. Good track record.
I have been to events and done things, and that's cool.
That is cool. Can't argue with that. It's my favorite part about speedrunning is the events. So
Yeah. Screw the grind.
yeah, yeah. Grinding's hard. I like not grinding and just
Yeah.
hanging out with
The
people.
events are like the really fun parts.
Yeah. I'm literally just always counting down the days until the next event. And just
Yeah.
hoping I save up the money for it. Because
Just
last
spend
year
it.
was rough for me. I went to like, let me count. I think I went to 6 events last year. 2 paces, 2 GDQs, PAX, and TwitchCon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I only went to
Uh,
4, but still, that was a lot.
yeah, no. And I usually do 4. I usually do every pace and every GDQ and leave it at that. But I was like, I'll submit to PAX West and TwitchCon as a joke, let's just see. They accept both times.
Hmm.
God damn it. Listen, I was happy, but my wallet is not happy.
Yeah, because for PAX, it was like kind of short notice.
Yeah, especially that. Also, for most of this year, I didn't have a job, so I was really struggling.
Yeah.
But I do now, so it's slightly better.
Yeah, because I think for PAX, it was like a few weeks' notice. And I was like, okay, let me get a flight.
Yeah, the hotel was horrible. Like, it was so expensive and couldn't find anything that was close for PAX
Yeah.
because of how late they told us. But
Yeah. For
oh
that,
well.
thankfully, I was just like, I'm from here. I know people. Surely I know someone that has a spare room.
Yeah, I did
Miss.
know people, but none of the people were available.
Yeah.
RIP, but it worked out.
Yeah, that was one where I was like, "Oh, you still live downtown?" I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, for now." Like, cool. You have a spare room.
Yep. Fun experience.
Yeah,
But
PAX is cool.
it was
I do
cool.
like
I
PAX.
just need to somehow get into, if I ever do it again. First of all, I'd only go if I got into GDQ because I am not spending those kinds of
Yeah,
money on tickets for that or TwitchCon.
same.
No, thank you. But I'd I'd hope they'd let us know well ahead of time so I could actually get a hotel space like downtown that isn't overpriced and within
Yeah.
walking distance so we don't have to rent a car. That'd be great.
Yeah, it's really nice when you actually are in the
Oh
area.
god, my camera just froze at a horrible time. Jeez, why'd it freeze? That was you. I hope that wasn't for all too long. Because that was yikes. Anyway, let me get this working again. As you were saying.
Yeah, the like the downtown area is cool. Hotels are expensive if you aren't able to book them out like well in advance.
Yeah, it was a pain. But it worked. We got there in the end, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely a unique experience because like PAX and TwitchCon are very different than GDQ. But at least have the
Oh yeah.
GDQ that you can go to if you want to feel normal.
Yeah, going to the room being like, "Oh, people that I know are in this room sometimes."
That's good.
And then going to the show floor and being like, "This is too many people."
Yeah, quite a few people there. All right. Have we covered everything?
I think so. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well,
We talked about a lot. It's been a while.
yeah, it has been a while. I mean, that's the point though, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think we covered every game, every live event, whatever interesting tangents sprung out of that.
There was
Um,
a lot.
there was a lot. I guess we can start wrapping things up. I'll go ahead and ask future plans.
I mean, at least for the meantime, I need to D-Rust Battle Network 1 for 2 events. But Paper Mario Glitchless Grind is like the main thing I'm doing. And Twilight Princess Glitchless is fun, and I will probably keep doing it occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
Those are like the short-term plans, at least.
Got any long term or like any other
Uh,
games on the backlog to run?
Honestly, I'm probably not going to be like learning any new-ish games for a while. Like, there's a lot of goals that I want to hit. Like Pokemon Coliseum is a big one I want to hit at some point. I do want to actually like sit down and get good at Twilight Princess All Dungeons, but the glitches in that game are very hard, and
Yeah,
that's like the big barrier.
fair enough.
But yeah, those are probably a little bit further out, along with like Paper Mario all bosses I'd like to PB in again. But again, very hard.
Yeah, you run a lot of hard games. I've noticed.
Hey, nothing. It honestly, hard games that are long are probably easier to just like keep PBing in because
Fair,
yeah, you
yeah,
lose time somewhere, but then you're like, oh, I make up like 2 minutes here. Surely.
yeah, right. And then, have you ever considered like content outside of just general speedrunning or anything like that, or just more
I do,
chilling?
I do, I do play randomizers on the weekends,
Mm-hmm.
and those randomizers do go to YouTube, and that is, from what I've heard, what people fall asleep to, which
We
is
love to
great for
hear it.
ad,
Yep.
great for ad revenue.
Mm-hmm. Love to hear it. I still don't make ad revenue money. Despite all these podcasts, I've lost so much money. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, Paper Mario Rando on YouTube does like well enough for me. Other stuff goes up, and it's like, oh, it doesn't do as well, but at least some people watch it.
Mm-hmm. That's what matters.
At the end of the day,
So that's what we can find on the YouTube then.
yep, lots of randomizers.
Lots of randomizer. All right. Well, sounds like we're about done here. So
It's been fun.
it has been fun. I enjoyed my time. Um, I'll go ahead and let you self promote however you'd like and say Get the shout
Oh
out
yeah.
command.
Phantom 5800 on Twitch, at phantomgames.com on Blue Sky, Phantom VODs on YouTube. Those are like the. It's never the same thing. Apparently, it used to be. It used to be consistent across all platforms,
Yeah.
but Blue Sky is nice. I don't like posting on Twitter anymore. I
Fuck
don't like looking
Twitter,
at
Blue Sky
Twitter.
superiority. Let's go. We'd love to hear it.
Yeah,
Yes.
Blue Sky, I can see the people that I want to see and no one else, and it's great.
Love that. And yes, all of the links are on the screen and in the YouTube description when this is uploaded. Yay.
Yay.
Yay. All
Thanks
right.
for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on. Was a fun discussion. Always appreciate it. And yeah, I guess we'll wrap things up here. I'll go ahead and do my outro. So thanks for watching, everyone. This was episode 98. We're approaching 100. So, there's a lot of content on the YouTube side of things if you want to watch some past episodes. If you're watching live, this one will be uploaded in just like a couple hours, maybe. So, because it is Sunday. But next 2 Sundays, the episodes will come out on YouTube when they should, but I will be streaming them in advance because I will be at JDQ when those come out, so I have to record in advance. Oh well. But one of those includes episode 100. Ooh, special. Big number. I guess we'll just have to see what that. I already know what's going to happen, but, no one else does. But yeah, I have the next 2 guests secured, I believe. So look forward to that. One will be, if you want to watch live, it'll be Tuesday, New Year's Eve, like in the afternoon time, and then I don't quite know the other one, but they'll be announced when they do. Anyway, I think that's it. We can call it a day here. Thanks for watching, everyone. Follow the show on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube. Let me do my what's it? Oh, I made my command.end to like say thanks for watching. I should have put it like, even though it's an exclamation point, but done, like SRL. That would have been funny.
Oh,
I
that would have been good.
I will edit that. I just thought of this. I'm gonna change that, but I'll do that off stream. Anyway, goodbye everyone. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Peace.